It's been a while since I shot a video, so this is going to be a fleet update and garage update. Let's go. Followers of the channel will know that I used to run a 2-car garage. Daily driver was a Honda Jazz and my space in the garage here was reserved for my Honda Beat. After I sold the Beat, I decided to just stick with a 1-car kind of setup for a while. And while I did love the Jazz, I was pining for something a little bit more sporty, so decided to buy a car that I've always wanted. I always promised myself at some point I would own a Type R of some description. I ended up going for a Civic Type R FN2 generation, and it seemed to tick all the boxes. Went out, took it for a test drive, loved it. I sold my Honda Jazz to a neighbour just down the road. It's only a few doors down now, so I still see it every day. And after I got the Civic home, I had instant regrets. It just was not what I was looking for. When I test drove the car, it was on nice, smooth roads and really didn't highlight the issues with the suspension that I found later on. It wasn't any problems. It was just incredibly firm and just not what I'm into. There's lots of speed bumps and kind of rough roads and stuff around my area, and it just wasn't suitable for that type of thing. It also had a modified exhaust. It was quite loud and it just incredibly fast. I've just found I was driving it everywhere at way over the speed limits. I normally prefer, to drive slow cars fast and cars that you really have to rev to get the most out of them. And while the Civic was in that category, it was just so much faster. So although it was in great condition and I did pick a very good one, I started hating it. It just wasn't comfortable at all. It didn't fit for me. The other thing that really annoyed me was the 3 doors. I was used to kind of 5-door cars for a family car, and the 3 doors on that car, the doors are really, really long, and parking it anywhere and kind of getting out and having the room to get in and out and getting your child in the back and whatever, it's a total pain. I even opened the door here in my garage onto one of my lights and smashed the cover there. Like, they're just so long, and this isn't a small garage by Irish standards. Anyway, I decided rather than pushing through, and I had toyed with the idea of maybe putting on smaller wheels and softening the suspension a little bit. I was just going to reverse out of this decision, and fortunately I was able to get rid of it within about 2 weeks and actually not lose any money on the deal, so move on to something else. So then I went looking for what would be the replacement. So it needed to be something halfway between a Honda Jazz and a Honda Civic Type R. A little bit sporty, but not like crazy firm suspension, and something like a daily and live with every day. Luckily, on a car forum that I'm a member of, such a car just popped up at exactly the right time. And it was this. It's absolutely manky at the moment, so you'll have to forgive me, but it is a Mark II Suzuki Swift Sport. It is a 3-door, but and you can get these in a 5-door, which I would have preferred, but this one was in great condition, well looked after, low mileage, a couple of nice little mods on it, and I couldn't pass up the opportunity. The 3-door on this doesn't bother me as much because the whole car is more compact. The doors just aren't as long and it's not as much of an issue. So I'll give you a quick snapshot of this particular Suzuki Swift Sport. These are a 1.6 engine with about 134 brake. The first generation of these are a little bit more raw and more of a driver's car, but the second generation brought a lot more creature comforts and kind of daily drivability as far as things like cruise control, 6-speed gearbox, xenon headlights, keyless entry, keyless start, all that kind of stuff. So it's a great daily driver. What really appealed to me about it was the suspension is actually really, really soft. So it's not an issue going over speed bumps or daily driving. You're not constantly worried about like hitting potholes and shattering your spine. It's just a great all-round car. The 6-speed gearbox is sweet, really nice on the motorway. It is a small car, so there's still loads of wind noise. It's never going to be the most comfortable car like a big car with great NVH or whatever, but I love small little light cars, and this one certainly is light and ticks all the boxes for me. Power wise, It hasn't got a whole lot low down, but it's easy to use. The clutch is light, but then it does kind of come on cam when you get above about kind of 4,500 RPM, and it comes alive, you know. So it's got that dual personality that I love as well. As far as modifications on this particular one, it has some fairly minor ones. The rear exhaust here has been replaced with one from Remus. Again, it's not really that much louder than stock, just looks a bit nicer, which is perfect for what I want. There's no drone on the motorway or anything like that, which is what I was worried about. The Civic Type R was a nightmare for drone. The exhaust was not my cup of tea. See if we can get better light here. So fairly minor modifications here. The standard airbox that kind of sits in this area over the inlet manifold has been removed, and this carbon fiber spark plug cover here, or coil pack cover, has been installed, which looks nice. But there is a intake here, cold air intake, or I suppose it's really a hot air one because it's in the bay, but there's some slight shielding here to keep some of the heat away. Again, adds a small bit of noise, not much. Probably adds no performance, but looks nice. The other modification that was on this car when I bought it was there was a set of ATS wheels on it. And although they look kind of cool, they're just not my cup of tea. I don't really like multi-spoke designed wheels. They were in a graphite colour. I'll stick in a picture here. But I've decided to change that, and we'll do that later in the video. So that's how I got the car. The one area that I was a bit disappointed in was the stereo. The standard head unit does have Bluetooth in it, but I could never seem to get my phone to sync to it. And the standard of the actual, sound quality was not good. So I decided to upgrade the head unit to an Android Auto unit from Pioneer. So it's a full Android Auto system with maps and navigation and all of that. Microphone here, GPS over there. It's a wireless Android Auto, so you don't have to connect your phone to the USB, which is handy. So after that, I decided I would upgrade the door speakers. There's speakers down here in the doors, a kind of sub and mid, and then there is a tweeter up here near the mirror, just up here. So what I did was I upgraded the standard door speaker down this part to get a better kind of bass response, and I'll show you a picture of that here. The previous owner did make one modification here on the interior, which is this really cool carbon fiber gear knob. He actually got that initially for a GR Yaris and then sold the GR Yaris and put it into the Swift, so it's a nice little unit. The car did come with the standard wheels as well, and they are in great condition, although the tires aren't great. And I've put these on temporarily while I'm getting the set of wheels refurbished that I will be putting on this car, which I will reveal later on. I did manage to break something on this car already. I was coming into the garage here, the garage door was coming up, and obviously it wasn't all the way up, and I managed to clip the aerial here and snap off the end of this, but in the process I broke some of the housing here on this is my replacement one. So for the moment I just kind of screwed it up so that no water will get into the cracks there and get into the car, and I order a replacement. So the issue with this is it's not very straightforward to get this into the car. It bolts it in from underneath there, and obviously the headliner is in the way. So this is the part that I need to get access to remove and replace, and I have a plan of attack. If I remove the grab handles here on both sides, there's three trim clips that are here, plastic clips, and then also remove these covers here that cover the pillars. I should be able to get the roof lining to kind of sag down a bit so I can get my hand in and unbolt that. So I'll let you know how we get on. Progress report. The only other item that I took down was the interior light there, just to give a little bit more flexibility in the head lining here, and the rubber seal around here. So that will allow you to get in and access here. So it's just ready to come out now. And I just need to unhook that cable. And the final touch. Done. Garage update. The garage has been pretty much like this for quite a while now. I originally had some storage along the side, but at one point I had two cars in here when I had a Honda Beat and a Daihatsu Mira. So I removed stuff on the side to give me a bit more width, and I just much prefer it like this. It's easier to get in and out of cars and work on cars. And I had moved most of my storage to the back of the garage here. One of the things I did was I tried to combine my workbench and tool storage here by putting some of the tools underneath and some above. But it's now left me with almost no workbench. There's obviously a vise here, but there's various other tools here that when I need to use them I have to put them on here and either bolt them underneath, or else they're just kind of wobbling around the place, which is not ideal. Another situation that's not ideal is this radiator, which really is too large. I never have this blaring out loads of heat. It's just to keep the chill off the air, so it's barely on. But moving a sink or radiator is going to be a fairly huge job, so I just want to see if I can work around them for the moment and make better use of this space. So with the radiator, I can't really put like tools or boxes or things on storage right on front of it, or else it just won't function at all. So my idea is to put a kind of a long, narrow workbench here in front of the radiator. I could put some small storage but allow still ventilation there. Maybe put this storage, leave it there in the corner, but add some additional storage beside it. I might put some extra wall storage here, possibly. Leave the sink in place. So basically this is the workbench that I have purchased. I'm going to put it together and just see where it fits, and I'll probably move this old workbench which I made myself out into the shed. Other than that, the major upgrade that I wanted to make is with the lights. I have lots of lights in this garage, which is great when you're working on cars. So there's fluorescent bulbs and these kind of batten lights. There's one here and one here is the main roof lighting. There's one for the kind of bench area, and then there is 4 along the sides. I got these covers knowing that, you know, things could bump into them, people who might be leaning against them, using tools, using car jacks, opening car doors, and it proved very useful. As I mentioned earlier on, this got cracked. But the issue with these, apart from being fluorescent and just a bit kind of old technology, is the actual housings are pretty chunky. So what I'd like to do is upgrade to LEDs, and there'll be a narrower profile, sit closer to the wall, but also modernize it a bit more, make it more energy efficient as well. And I could possibly do some sort of funky design in how I spread them around. The idea will be to have some on the roof and some on the sides, because that just is perfect for working on cars. But I haven't got the lights yet, and I do have the bench, so I'm going to get started here. I'd also like to completely remove this shelving unit here, because there's only a very small amount of items there. and just clean that wall up a bit more. So I'm thinking I'll be able to relocate them to underneath the bench. Well, there it is, all assembled. I was hoping I could push it all the way back to the wall here. It's just a small gap, but there's a thermostat on that radiator there, and an end on that side as well, so I can't push it all the way back, but that's fine. This is probably where it will exist anyway, and some of those jacks and things will move down under there. Desk will move into the shed. These will stay roughly in that area. Could go on that side maybe, but we'll see. Some of the features of this, this apparently is a rubber wood top. I actually don't know how hard wearing that will be, but we'll see. Certainly there's a bit of a shelf there if you want to put clamps and things like that onto the lip of it. I'll be able to set up all of my tools and bolt them all down and have loads of room. It's much longer than the existing one. I'll leave my tool wall there. I was thinking about some storage here, but then it'll block off this area here, so I probably won't do that. Might put another pegboard here maybe. So some of the features on this, it does actually have a built-in plug here with USBs and a cord holder for anything else on your power tools. So you see the plug on the inside here. I'll have to route that over. And the only other item here is a bottle opener, which is handy. There is some kind of pegboardy type things here, so you could in theory hang stuff off the side, I suppose. This is height adjustable, so I just left it at the default height for now, but it can go lower. I don't know if it goes much higher than this. I'm guessing it probably does. This is a nice height to work at, maybe not to sit at. So how much lower could I go? I could go a little bit lower till it interferes with the radiator, but I might leave it as is for the moment. It's not really interfering with this tool shelf, other than a couple of spanners, which is fine. So overall, it seems pretty stable. I'm not going to be bolting it to the wall or anything like that. Allow me to move it around if I want to rejig the garage at some point. But seems pretty good so far. If anyone's interested, this is a Halford's unit. I think the full price is something like €250 or €300 or something like that. If you do have a trade card, you can get it for around 200. So that's step one more or less done. Next step will be to get the lights in, but for the moment the worktop is in, the old worktop is out, and this tool chest is now sitting on its own. I always had this kind of rolling tools anyway, so it just slots in there. And I've removed the shelf there to give a bit more space and relocated all those items down here. So not a bad start. And the lighting is complete. Probably going to get some serious flickering here, but there is two sets of kind of light bars down the side. Each one of these is kind of 4-foot bars, and you can join them in the middle so it looks like one continuous light. So two here, two here, two here, two here. And then another 8 on the roof in a kind of a diamond shape on the ceiling. And then 2 more over here for the workbench area. These are all the old lights I had taken off, so I'll just get rid of those, give them away for free. So overall, I'm extremely happy. It is much brighter. They're more efficient as well, they use less wattage. and it just looks a lot more modern. You can probably see here on the paint where the old lights were. So I just touched that up with white. I was thinking about painting this a different colour, but I think I might just leave it white for the moment. So that is the garage changes. I don't think I'll be doing anything else for now. I'll just live with it for a while and see if I want to make any changes later on. But this workbench will allow me to mount the tools on here. I haven't done it yet, and have loads more space than I had before. So very happy with the result. Just need to get the car in here now. So the center caps on the wheels are made of plastic, which you can't powder coat. So either I could try and spray this the same kind of bronze color or black or something like that. But what I decided to do was to take off the Honda logo that was on these. And because the wheels are made by Enki, I found some of these center caps for Enki in a kind of a bronzish kind of a color. Now, this is an old Enki logo from years ago, maybe the 70s or 80s. I couldn't find one of the newer design ones, but I think it's kind of cool. So I think that should fit on there. Let's find out. Perfect fit. Right to the edge. Nice. Well, the wheels are back from Rim Solutions. Once again, did a fantastic job. This is this bronze color that they call Renault Mocha for some reason. But it is very glossy, lovely in bronze. You can see the flake in it there. So just a couple of things to do before I fit them to the car. Spigot rings and center caps. They're a little bit more goldy than bronze, but it'll still fit the theme. Nice. Something else important about these wheels to know is that most aftermarket wheels, and as well as Suzuki OEM wheels, use this conical style wheel bolt where there's a cone shape here. However, Honda, and these are from a Honda Accord, use for the OEM wheels this type of acorn or radius style where the seat is a different shape. So you have to use the right wheel bolts. If you try and use these on the Honda ones, they won't grip tightly in. There's a very strong chance they'll come loose. They're not safe at all. So just worth bearing in mind. Might just give this hub a quick clean before I put on the new ones. This just makes sure that the spigot rings seat properly onto the wheel and it's completely flat. Now rinse and repeat 3 more times. Well, in typical Irish fashion, there's a storm on. Quickly clean the car in between the rain showers. there it sits on the new wheels. Obviously it still looks a bit high, but they are the OEM size, and I prefer road comfort than bottoming out everywhere and a harsh ride. So I'm very happy with how they turned out. So thank you for tuning in for this garage and fleet update. Slán.